We are at Jim's place in Coldwater, Michigan. We have a race, Molly Bontrager versus Aleks Mateievic, playing 8-ball. These two are very close to each other in skill level according to Fargo rate, with Aleks being out of Detroit at a 634 Fargo rate and Molly from Elkhart at 632. Molly has won the leg and she will be breaking. Looks like she did a second ball break there. And the 8-ball got sent all the way up into the corner pocket. I believe they will respot that ball. And according to BCA rules, she has the option of either respotting it or breaking again. She's chosen to respot it, which is what usually happens. Molly is looking things over. The cue ball's up in the center of the table. It looks like both ball sets are well spread. She could choose either one in BCA. The table's always open after the break, even if you make a ball. And she missed her first shot. She was pretty close to that ball, and it appeared there was a little bit of left spin on the ball, and it looked like it threw it to the right a little bit. Now Aleks will have his choice, so the table's always open after the break, but remains open because Molly did not make a called ball. Now it looks like he's going to go for stripes. He's shooting the 9-ball into the side very softly. Looks like he was trying to roll in between the 5 and the 8 to get on the 15. I think that's the 15 up there. And he did a really nice job of it. That was a small little slice of pie to land in there. He made that ball. He's right straight on what I think is the 12-ball there. Looks like he's going to need to shoot a combination next if he doesn't choose the 11-ball down in this right corner. He tried to get straight on those 2 balls, I think, and ended up drifting over a little bit. Now he has to shoot over the 5-ball if he's going to shoot at this ball on our right, which I think may be the 10-ball. It's hard to tell. He's shooting high on the cue ball and high over the 5-ball. He does clip the 6 first, so that's going to be a foul. Molly has a chance here to get at the solids, which are spread out pretty good. The only problem ball is the 7-ball. And it may be that the 4 and the 5 are tied up just above her right shoulder, making it possibly problematic to get the 4 or the 5 up into that, what now is the lower left corner from this view. She appears to be looking at the 6-ball, which does have room to go in this corner pocket. Now, it looks like she's lining up on the 5-ball. And she will try to roll up on the 6. Oh, she's trying to get behind the 7. That's a great shot. She did bump Alex's ball, that stripe down at the lower left. Those 2 stripes are now lined up better to the pocket, so she wants to make sure she gets out here. And she held that cue ball, and she will be coming to get the 1 next, and then probably up to the center of the table where she'll have her choice of these 3 balls. Either the 2-ball or the 5-ball can both be used to get on the 8, so I suspect she's going to try to get on the 6-ball into that left side. She does that. She'll want to roll up to get on the 5 now, and then draw it back a little bit for the 2, and then she'll be right on the 8 if she can get good position there. So she's straight on the 5. She should be able to just draw it back a little bit past the center of the table probably, and then shoot the 2 in the upper right corner and come back across for the 8 in that same corner. She's thinking it over here. She is drawing the ball, it looks like. She probably got a little closer to that rail than she would have liked to have done, but again, she will be shooting that 2 in the upper right corner and letting the cue ball come across by that 3rd diamond from the top on the left to get the 8-ball up into that upper right corner. She actually hit it a lot harder than I was calling for, and she ran into the 8-ball. I guess she had a little more angle than it looks like from here, so she felt she needed to go all the way back and forth across the table. Now she needs to make a bank shot here, because Aleks is going to have a pretty easy out with that combo up there in the lower left corner. The other 2 balls both with good pockets in either direction. Molly is pausing to think about it, but I don't think there's a lot to think about here. I think she has to go for this. She has to try to make that ball. It looked like she called the upper left pocket there. I'm not sure what she's doing. Is she going for a Z bank? Is she cutting it? She's very hesitant about deciding what to do. I certainly don't see that ball going into this, being cut into this lower right pocket as we're looking at it from this angle. So I think her options are either to bank it up into that upper right corner or back across into the right side pocket from our angle here. It looks like she pointed at that upper right corner now, which I think is the right decision. And she came up a little bit short, and it looks like the 8-ball is going to go back across the table into the upper left corner, so she loses this rack. 8-ball out of turn. And that puts Aleks ahead 1-0. I am not sure what the race is here. I'm going to learn as we go along. I'll be keeping track as we go along, and so I'll know when you do. And we'll just fast forward here. They have a little conversation. Aleks is breaking the balls now. I don't know whether they're doing alternate break or winner breaks. We'll find out as we go along here. Molly did break first. Aleks is breaking from the head ball. Makes a ball in the side pocket. I saw one slip in there. I see 14 balls on the table, so that means he made the one. I do believe that it's open after the break. Aleks is choosing to shoot at the 15 ball in the corner. I'm not sure if he got on anything there. It looks like he's hooked on that ball in the lower rail. Maybe he can see the 9 ball up there going up into the upper left corner. Looks like that's what he's shooting at. He did appear to hit a different ball. It was a stripe, so that will not be a foul. It'll be Molly's shot from where the cue ball lies. And she does have solids because he made a stripe to start off his inning. And she does have a shot at either the 5 ball or the 3 ball that's pretty clear. I think she has a shot at the ball, the lowest ball on the table on the right there. That's a 2 ball. Looks like she's going to shoot at this 3 ball that goes in the right side pocket. And she'll go off that end rail. Now you can see here that her 7 ball on the right rail there is stuck behind a stripe. The 1 ball might clear that stripe, but the 7 ball is definitely going to be an issue for her to deal with. She came back towards the center of the table, and I'm not sure what she was trying to get on. Probably the 4 ball up in the upper left, but she rolled too far to get that one. Now she's aiming at the 5 ball. She will come back across for the 6, I would think. Oh no, she's going to use that 2 ball in the lower right to try to break those 2 balls open, I think. She's looking at the 1 ball and the 7 ball. Those are on her right, over her right shoulder. She wants to hit the 7 ball, she's indicating there. That 1 ball is clear to the pocket, I believe, so she can bump that 7 ball out of there up towards the side pocket or towards the end pocket. She'll be in a much better position. And she does do exactly that. She moved both of those balls, got them both out into the open table. She'll now be able to shoot either the 1 or the 6. And I think she'll want to clear those 2 balls first and then go up table, because she's eventually going to have to shoot the 8 ball. That was a nice shot. She came back around for the 1 ball. She needs to come off the end rail and up towards that 7 ball, I think. She needs to clear that stripe at the bottom near the center of the table. She can come just to the right side of it from our view and up for the 7 ball. I think she came a little bit further than she wanted to, but she does have an angle on the 7 ball. She's pointing right at where she wants to end up. If she can get to that spot, she'll be able to come off the end rail and get on the 8 after she shoots the 4. So she'll draw this across the table and off the rail. And she came quite a bit higher than she was aiming for, and you can see her shaking her head there. She's not very happy about that shot. She will have a much steeper angle than she had hoped for. She's lining that up now. I'm not sure what she's going to do here. It looks like she's pointing at that rail that's on our right side right now. She's going to hit that ball and try and draw it a little bit or spin it back off of this rail by that first diamond, that lowest diamond towards us. She's being very careful about this. This is really a tough shot, I think. Here you can see a little bit better what the angle is. So she's going to draw that over and come out towards the center of the table. She'll be kind of on a line towards that right side pocket, I think, as she comes off that side rail, if she hits it where she wants to. So she's got to have really good speed control here. It's a very fast table. And she's probably a little spooked by that. She probably came up higher than she wanted to. But she will have a good cut at the 8 ball in the upper left corner. If she can make this ball, she'll make the score 1-1. Molly, a lefty with really great form. She has a great pendulum stroke with no elbow drop at all. We can see where her elbow is now, and let's look at it where it is at the end of the stroke. It's right in exactly the same place. That makes the score 1-1. Molly will be breaking, and here she goes. Let's see if she does that second ball break again. She does. The 8 ball again moved a long ways, almost went in the side pocket. The 8 ball on the break does not win the game under the rules they're playing. In fact, the first time she broke, Molly made the 8 ball on the break and it got spotted. Now it does look like, even though Molly has a choice of which ball set she wants to take, she has a shot on the 13 ball at the upper left there next to the 4 ball, but she would have to shoot over the 7 ball to do it. I think it's likely she's going to choose the solids. She has a fairly easy make on the 5 ball, but she's going to have some work to do no matter which ball set she takes. She elected to just drift over where she could get on the 2, either up in the corner or in the side. She also has a possibility, the 7-3 combo into that right side. I doubt that she will take that. She really is more likely to pocket that 2 ball. She's looking at the side pocket, I think. If she chooses that, she's going to be drifting down this way a little bit, down towards the 15 ball. Okay, she elected to shoot low on that ball and break out the 7 and the 3. which were a possible problem for her. And it is a rule of thumb in 8-ball that you want to get rid of your problems as early as possible. She's shooting down on this ball a little bit to stop it after pocketing the 4. She drifts over. Now she'll have a choice of the 1 or the 3 ball goes in this lower right pocket. I don't think she wants to shoot the 6 ball that goes in the lower left at this point because she's going to have a hard time controlling the cue ball. Molly likes to think things over, and I think that's a laudable characteristic of hers. She doesn't just go in fast forward. She thinks things over pretty well. So she got herself straight on the 6, which is a much better position to be in. She'll now be able to draw back a little bit, put the 7 in, stop on the 3, and then pocket the 8 in this lower left corner. But the time she's spending looking at this tells me she might have a little bit too much of an angle in that 15 ball. She may not be able to stop it without having the 15 ball intervene in her shot. And as often happens when you're conflicted between the leave and pocketing the ball often suffers, and I really think that's what was going on there. She didn't get the perfect leave that she wanted, and so she sacrificed pocketing the ball for trying to get the leave that she wanted. Now, Aleks has a cut on this stripe in the lower right corner. It's going to be hard to control the cue ball. It's going to want to run a little bit, and it does run all the way to the foot of the table, near the foot of the table, near the second diamond. He does have a shot at the 14 ball, which is up in the center there on the distant rail. He's thinking about his strategy. It looks like he's eyeballing that 9 ball. This is an opportunity to get that ball out of the way. He's shooting low on the cue ball. Comes over off the rail, and he's in line with the 11 ball. He should be able to hold the ball pretty near where the 11 ball is. Get those other 2 balls. And then come down for the 15. Comes off the rail. Now he can stop this ball, put the 15 in the side pocket, and just drift down, not the 15, but the 12 in the side pocket, and drift down a little bit for the 15, which is his key ball to get on the 8. However, he might prefer to put that 15 ball down into this lower right pocket. He elects to go off the end rail. I don't think that was the wisest decision. He's now got a bad angle on this. He's going to have to come to the foot of the table and back out. He's got an angle to his left at the side pocket, so that cue ball is going to have to move quite a bit. He kind of drew that ball off the end rail, gave himself quite a bit of distance. This is a very makeable shot for him, but he's going to have to shoot down on this ball, I think. He cleanly made that shot. That's a very difficult shot when you're shooting down on it from that distance. He confidently walks to his next shot, pockets the 8 ball, and he moves ahead 2-1. He will be breaking. He's racking the balls. He has been using a head ball break in contrast to Molly's second ball break. There is no advantage to that second ball break because 8 ball does not count. That's usually why people do that break. Although the other thing about that break is the balls tend to end up clustered more often with a second ball break. And so it can be an advantage in certain circumstances, especially, for example, in APA, if you are a lower handicap player going against a higher handicap player and you can get the balls clustered, you have more of a chance. In other words, you're not giving them the opportunity to run out. With these two players, both in the near mid 600s in Fargo rate, they are confidently going to run out often, and they want to break the balls off. They want to pocket a ball and get the run out. Aleks has run off 2 stripes while I've been yakking, and he has the possibility of picking up 2 more here at the bottom of the table. He's then going to want to get up there where he can break out that 9 ball or get on the right side of it from our angle here. And I think he's going to try to do that right now. He does break it out. Does it now have a pocket? I don't think so. I don't think it goes in either of those upper corner pockets. So he's still got the 9 ball as a problem. He's going to have to get above that ball towards the foot of the table from our angle here. It's above the ball. And under the pressure of that long shot, he missed it. Rewatching that shot in slow motion, we can see Aleks' tip come up out of the shot very quickly. See how it popped up? And Aleks does that quite a bit. And there's nothing wrong with it as long as it happens after the cue ball is struck. If it happens a fraction of a second too early, that's a problem. And the Q-tip hits a different spot than the player was intending. And here Molly pockets the 2 ball in the upper left corner. And she has nice position on the 1 ball. I think she'll choose to slide over to that left rail and get on the 4 ball, which goes up into this lower left pocket. If she gets good position on it, she'll be able to roll that ball up for the 7. Now she's looking at the 5 ball. That's quite a cut shot. The cue ball's going to run pretty fast off of it. I think she's better off to shoot this 1 ball. She elects to do that and come across for the 3 ball. I think she came a little further than she wanted to, but she should be okay here. She can drift this cue ball across again to get on that 4 ball. I think she's holding the 4 ball as her cue ball to get on the 8 though. There she just drifted that in the pocket, and she did not get a good line on the 5 ball. She's going to have a tough cut shot on the 7. If she chooses to do it down in this lower left pocket, she's going to have to come 2 rails off the bottom and right side rails. She's thinking things over here. I think she really wanted to get on the 5 ball there. And she hit the stripe at the bottom of the table. Now she's almost perfectly straight on the 5, which makes it difficult to get on the 4, so she's not even looking at that really. She's looking at the 4 ball. She'll shoot the 4 ball and draw the cue ball back, trying to get it towards the center of the table. Looks like she's putting a little bit of left on it. Comes all the way across to the side rail. And again, rolled a little bit too far for the 5 ball. Maybe she can see it. It's not clear. She's waving her arm like she's having a conversation with herself that it didn't turn out the way she wanted it to. Unlike golf and many other sports, a millimeter makes a difference in pool. She did have access to that ball. She comes right across, gets on the 8 ball. She will put the 8 ball up into this corner pocket. A lot of players, because the 8 ball's closer to the side pocket, would want to put it there, but it's actually, there's a lot more room for error shooting a ball into the corner pocket in a situation like that. Now the score is 2-2 with Molly breaking. Again, she's breaking from the right side and doing a second ball break. She does pocket a ball. The far corner ball, the 6 ball, went straight in the pocket, as often happens when you are doing a second ball break. Kaylee, one of our great servers, walking through there. Molly's looking this table over, and this is something every player should do, is think through. She's thinking through the whole rack with both sets of balls and considering what is the best thing to do. So many amateur players choose to just shoot the easiest ball that's in front of them at this point. But the easiest ball is not always the best ball, and she's going to think about which one of these ball sets allows her to have the highest probability of winning this game. But in this case, both ball sets are runnable, but the solids have an advantage. She has good looks at both the 5 ball and the 3 ball here as a starting ball, and she's electing to shoot at this 5 ball. She'll come off this end rail and up there for the 7 or the 2. And she did get on the 7. She'll be able to draw that cue ball a little bit to the right and get on the 2. She wants a little angle on the 2 so she can come off that end rail and get back out here towards the center of the table. She does that, but she looks pretty straight on the 2 ball. In fact, I think it's safe to say it's dead straight at this corner pocket from this angle. And so she'll be drawing this ball back. I don't think she got that ball back as far as she would have liked. She would have liked to had a choice of the 4 ball or the 3 ball that goes up in the upper right corner, the red ball there. The purple 4 ball appears to go down into this lower right corner. I think she would have liked to have drawn it a little bit more. It's real easy to overdraw the ball, though, on this table. And she knows that, so I think she was being cautious and drew it a little bit short. Now she's pocketed the 4 ball. That was a really nice shot. She would have liked to have gotten straight on this 1 ball, but she didn't. So she's probably going to have to come off this end rail about where that chalk is there and come back up towards the 8 ball, which is in the center of the table, so that she can get on the 3 ball in the upper right. And to do that, the tangent line comes straight down the table there, so if she's sliding when she hits this ball, she'll be able to come off that table at the middle diamond. She'll be able to come off the end rail here at this middle diamond on the bottom. And she had a little left spin on it, which took it into a really bad spot along that right rail. I think she was maybe trying to spin it forward off the right side rail and get it back out to the center of the table. She did get the line perfect down here to this bottom rail, hit right next to that diamond, and if it had rolled straight out, it would have been in great position, but she had that left spin on it, which took it to a bad spot. And here she is in a bad spot, grumbling to herself at this point, which is understandable. But now she needs to set that aside and figure out how to make contact with this ball. She's looking at some lines here. It doesn't look like she can hit to that right rail. She would have to really stall that ball to get there, I think, or curve it. I'm not sure it's even possible to do that. Yeah, she missed it by 2 or 3 inches. That was almost an impossibly hard ball to get at. And there probably wasn't a good line to get to it with those 4 balls spread out all in a line down the middle of the table there. How would she get at that ball? So now Aleks has ball in hand. All of his balls have pockets. He's just trying to figure out how to connect the dots and get an out of this. He has 5 stripes. He's working it through in his head what the best line is to take. What's the first ball he should shoot? He's decided on the 14 ball he will roll up a little bit for the 9. So I think he's going to take these 3 balls off the far end of the table there. He'll roll up for the 11. He stuns it over for the 11 so he'd have a nice angle. Now he should be able to roll up on the right side of that 8 ball and choose one of these 2 balls to shoot. He put a little spin on it, put it off the side rail, and he has a straight in shot on the 13. He'll create an angle to get up to the 8 ball, and we'll see where he wants to put it, probably up in that upper right pocket, but possibly the upper left pocket. He stuns it all the way over to put it in the side pocket and ended up in a perfect line. And Aleks will be breaking. He has been doing a head ball break from just off a little bit to the side of the center with the cue ball. I don't think he made anything here. He's walking away from the table. And Molly will be coming in to analyze this table to see what she wants to shoot. She clearly has a good shot at the 3 ball in the center of the table, and that's what she's going to choose. She bumps the 8 ball over. That'll leave her with a shot at the 5 ball. She has to get on that 1 ball somehow. She does have a shot at the 6, and she's rolling up for the 4 ball. From there, she'll likely come out to the center of the table. She can nip the 2 ball in and try to get an angle in the 7 ball. 5 ball also is perched over there, not far from that side pocket. I think that's the means she wants to use to get on the 1 ball. If she can get a good line on the 5 ball, she can roll up on that left end rail to get the 1 ball eventually. She's come out to the near the center of the table. She's looking at the 7 ball now. She'll stun this with some right hand English and a little bit of draw and come out for the 2 ball. She can then use the 2 ball to get straight on the 5 so that she can get on that 1. Wow, she ended up running into that stripe. I'm not sure what her goal was. Maybe she was trying to draw it off the side rail like I called before and just didn't manage it. Now she has quite a cut shot at the 2. She does make that very nicely. She has a good shot at the 5. Now she may have to roll that cue ball up to the far end of the table a bit. I'm not sure if she has any angle to get on the 1 ball at all. She does roll it up, and she does get on the 1 ball. And now she'll be able to stun this cue ball across the table to try to get on the 8. I think she'll just draw that straight across on the tangent line and have it come off that right rail so that she has the 8 in the upper left pocket. If she overshoots it, she could put it in the upper right pocket as well. Here we go. She is shooting low on that ball to draw it over. It comes straight off the rail and leaves her a shot in the upper left corner. A good opportunity to watch her stroke again here. And again, that nice pendulum stroke puts the 8 ball right in the pocket. And so Molly evens the score by running out after Aleks's dry break. And Molly ready to break again. Again, she's doing that 2nd ball break. She seems to be comfortable and confident with that, but I do not believe she made a ball. And she will vacate the table, and Aleks will come in and look at what his options are. We can see most of the balls have a pocket. Probably the biggest problem on the table would be the 14, 11, and 10 there on the right side. Maybe a little bit congested. I think he's going to choose to shoot that 7 ball in. He's looking at it and looking where his cue ball is going to come when it comes off this right side rail. It ends up perhaps on the line he wanted. He went right to the 1 ball, so I think he was trying to get that line right there to get on the 1. And he's coming off the side rail here. I think he was trying to get on that 6 ball on the side and rolled a little bit too far. So now he's going to have to figure something out here. He has the 3 ball, which is cuttable in the side pocket. And he ended up a little short with it. He really didn't get the position he wanted there and ended up with a severe cut shot and missed that shot. So now Molly has an opportunity here. She's looking carefully at those 3 balls at the end of the table there. I'm not sure what she wants to do. Was she thinking about potting that the blue 2 with the stripe, leaving the stripe in the way of the 5 ball? What was she thinking about? I don't know. She's spending her time looking this table over. Would be very difficult for her to get out from here, I believe. At some point, she will have to get at that 15 ball up there at the upper left corner between the 2 and the 5. And so I think she will end up not trying to get out. Yeah, she's going to try to bump that 2 ball in, leaving the 15 ball in the mouth of the pocket, blocking the 5 ball. And she fouled, she hit the 5 ball first. So that'll be ball in hand for Aleks. And his biggest problem ball is that 5 ball, so he's probably going to take care of it right now because it does not go in that upper left pocket. So he'll be pocketing that 5 ball over in the right, upper right corner and trying to get on these other 3 balls. It's hard to say whether that, from this angle, whether that 4 ball goes into that side pocket. I think it does. And he drew that cue ball to get over on the 3 ball. So it appears that the 4 goes into that side pocket. He'll roll up on the 6. My earlier point being, if that 4 ball didn't go on the side, then he was probably going to shoot it across the other side while I had ball in hand. But since he chose this pathway, it seems possible the 4 does go past that 12 ball. I think he can come off that right side rail and come out by the 13. Okay, maybe that ball didn't go because he bumped it out there. And he did that on purpose. He made a difficult cut shot for himself. He probably is going to contact that 9 ball when he comes off of this 4 ball, shooting it into the upper right corner. He might be able to draw it past that, but gee, then he might come across into those other balls and not know what's going to happen. He does contact the 9. It looks like what he was trying to do is carry that cue ball over towards the line of the 8 off the 9. And he didn't pocket the ball, and again, that's something that your mind can be torn between leave and pocketing. But not in the case of Molly. As she walks up to this table now, she sees the dotted lines, and she's following them. 2 quick shots in a row. And she is on the 11 ball. She wants to come out to the middle of the table, I think. And from here, she can get on the 12, and then the 14, and then the 9, and then the 15, and come back up table for the 8 ball. She's not going to take that route. She's shooting the 9 ball in. And I think this is a better path than I suggested because she'll be able to use the 14 to get on the 8, and that's what I believe she was thinking about. So now she'll want to roll up for the shot on the 12, but I think she rolled it a lot further than she expected to and nearly scratched. Now she can stun this down to the end rail and back out for the 14. But man, these diamond tables with Simona's cloth really roll. She was lucky she hit that straight on so that she still had a shot. Knocks the 14 in, and she'll have a nice clear straight shot at the 8. And that will put her in the lead at 4-3 as she prepares to break. She has been doing the second ball break. She made the 8 on the first wrap, but the 8 got respotted under the rules that they're playing. This time the 8 didn't move much. She did pocket a ball in the right side pocket. I believe that was a stripe that went in that pocket. It does look like all the stripes have pockets available, as do the solids. And she's looking things over, deciding what to do. And she's going to shoot at that 3 ball, it looks like, in the lower right-hand corner. She comes back towards the center of the table. She has either the 1 ball or the 2 ball to shoot at. She also has the 5 ball, which is what she's looking at now. I think she can stop this and shoot the 7 in the upper right corner. She rolls forward a little bit and gets locked onto the 6. I'm not sure she can make anything now except the 1 ball. 1 ball goes in this lower left corner. And she should be able to roll up by that 11 ball, I think, or in that line where she can see the 2 ball. She does roll up by the 11. She does get right straight on the 4 in the left-hand side pocket. And she's thinking about how to get to that 6 and 7 ball at this point, I would think. She's shooting down on the ball, stopping it. It appears after shooting the 2, she may have a pathway to the side pocket for one of these balls. She's looking at the 6 in the left-hand corner pocket. I don't think there's anything straightforward here about what she's going to do. She's now looking at getting behind those balls and seeing if she can get the 6 into the side pocket. So she is looking at both of those possible pockets. She'll make her decision now, and we can see she's hitting low left. Coming off that rail a little bit, spun the ball off the rail a little bit, and got on what appears to be a perfect line to the side pocket. I think she's going to want to run into the 8 now and stop that cue ball with the 8. She doesn't want to go past it. And again, the balance between getting the leave by coming off of that 8 ball and pocketing the ball in that difficult side pocket ended with a miss. And this is a war that goes on in every pool shooter's brain between the cue ball position and pocketing the ball. Something has to give. Ideally, both things happen. But so often, when you have a difficult leave to deal with, you miss pocketing the ball. So now Aleks is back at the table, and he pockets the ball and comes off the side rail, but ends up very close to the end rail. So he can pocket that 11 ball on the side pretty easily and roll up by those 3 balls at the end of the table. But he ends up in a bad position, stuck behind the 7 ball. He's going to have to shoot at this 13 and either put it in the lower left or the lower right pocket. Looks like he's aiming for the lower left pocket. He'll come around 3 rails. 1, 2, 3, and gets on the 9 ball. What a nice shot. Bumps into the 7. He'll be able to either roll up for the 12, or in this case, he draws it back. Comes right back down on the shot. Comes off the end rail, and he needs to get up by that right side pocket now, off the 12 ball. And he does so. And this will bring us back to a tie between these two great players. And it will be Alex's break. Still breaking from the same spot on the table that he has been. Hits the balls quite hard. Ends up with the cue ball on the end rail here. And if he's not going to shoot that one ball, he has some very difficult options. He did make the 8 ball on that. And let's watch it in slow motion. That 8 ball goes straight into that pocket. No other ball got in the way. He hit the head ball and rolled that 8 ball straight into that pocket. If he could can that up and do it every time, he would do it. It's very unusual to see that happen with a head ball break. Now he is shooting at the 1 ball. And he shoots it softly to roll up into the center of the table. He'll have his option to shoot the 6 or the 7 or the 3. He's looking at the 6. Draws it back into the 2. Now things look a little difficult for him. The 2's makeable in the left side pocket and the 3's makeable down here in the left corner pocket. He's going for the latter situation. He'll come back across the table, I think, for the 2. Oh, he bumped into the 7 and he got himself in trouble. I don't know if he was trying to hit that ball or he was trying to come across for the 2 like I called, but he ended up in a bad spot. Now he's got a kick behind the 7. Well, in fact, he was able to hit the 7. In fact, he hit it too full, so he had room to pocket that ball. Now Molly will be shooting at stripes, and I don't see a clear shot for her. I don't know if the 14 goes up in that corner or not, in that upper left corner. It appears from this angle it might have room, and it also appears from this angle that she might be able to see the 10 ball up in that far corner. And I think that's what she's going to shoot at. She's looking at it now. She did have room. She comes back to the center of the table. And she's thinking over her options now. She could come off the end rail and go for the side pocket with the 15. Or she can do what she did, and that's come all the way over by the left-hand rail. Now she has a shot at the 15. It's not an easy one. Down in this lower right corner. She has to find out how to navigate with the cue ball to get to those other 2 balls. 3 balls, actually. I think that's the 9 ball up towards the top of the table. She shot at the 13 ball, made it in the upper right-hand pocket. She does have a nice angle on the 9 ball. She should be able to come out to the center of the table. I think she'll want to end up a little short of the 14 ball, a little bit short of the side pocket on the right, so that she can shoot the 14 in and come forward. She's caught the point on the pocket, and that's given her a bad angle on the 14. She's going to shoot the 15 first and try to come back by that side pocket again. And both times, the cue ball rolled further than she hoped for. That is a very consistent observation on these diamond tables with 860 Simonis cloth, is that they really roll, and players tend to roll a little bit too far or farther than they want to. Now she just lightly bumps that ball into the pocket. She lost some chalk in the other side pocket. And we're going to go on a fishing expedition now. Molly has a clear shot at the 8-ball now. She left herself a difficult but makeable shot. And she does make it. And that brings the score to 5 for Molly, 4 for Aleks. And the players are going to take a break now. And we are back with Molly racking the balls, getting ready for our 10th game of 8-ball. Molly is in the lead, 5-4. She will be performing a second ball break now from the right side of the table. Shooting a little low on the cue ball, it looks like, but doesn't hit low on it because she's dropping that upper arm when she does a break shot. She doesn't do that normally when she shoots, but when she does a break shot, she drops that upper arm, and that is going to bring the tip up a little bit. And so she hit near the center of the cue ball there, I think. In slow motion, we can see during her break how much that upper arm comes down. And that is much different than her stroke during the rack we looked at earlier, where you can see that it doesn't move at all. Much harder to control the tip when you're dropping that upper arm like that. And I don't say that as a criticism. We're looking here at the world's greatest breaker, Shane Van Boening. This is a slow motion picture taken by Dr. Dave. And he does two things: raises his body up and drops that arm in order to get the power that he does. And this is similar to what we saw from Molly, and it is a great way to achieve a powerful break, but there are a lot of moving parts involved. Dr. Dave's site has lots of great information on breaking the balls. Now Molly's looking the table over. She did make a ball on the break. She made a stripe. It looks like the solids are in a better position overall. Difficulty being those 3 balls at the upper right, the 3 stripes, and the 2 stripes down by the head of the table here, which is the rail nearest to us, makes it a little more difficult. On the other hand, the 4 ball stuck in between 2 balls. So she's got some work cut out for her, but she's taking the solids, it looks like, and she's going to try a combination. Did not make it. And that leaves it up to Aleks now, and the table is still open for Aleks. So I suspect he's going to take the solids as well. He can make this 3 ball in the lower left corner and perhaps rearrange those 4 balls near the rail to make things better for himself. He does that. He gets the 9 ball out of the way. He's going to have a shot at the 2. Still has some difficulty with the 1, but he may be able to draw back either into the 1 or into that stripe that's next to it. And he's going to look the table over a little bit. He has 3 difficult balls to get at down in the far end of the table. It looks like he is looking at drawing this ball into the 1 ball, but also possibly back past it. He was just looking at whether that would clear the pocket past the stripe. He's shooting high on this ball, so he's decided to go up there and try and get the 6 ball. I think he reasoned that he could make that 1 ball into that corner pocket, so he would save that for later. And later is now, as he draws the cue ball off that rail, comes over for the 1 ball, has a nice angle on it, so he can go up table for his other 3 balls. He drew that ball back 2 rails. He has a good shot on the 7 ball. I do believe he's going to bump into the 8. If he can do it at the right speed, he'll still have a shot on the 5 ball on to the upper right corner. He does that, and he does have a shot on the 5. He actually moved both balls. And he walks down to the end of the table to look at things. I think he's going to just softly hit this in and try to put the 4 in the side pocket, perhaps. He's got a lot of left English on this shot. So he's coming all the way back to this rail. That was a smart move to get on the 4 ball, but I don't know how he's going to get on the 8. Is he going to go up above it? He doesn't. It looks like he's going for the bank. He's going to go for the cross corner bank. He points at that corner. He has plenty of room to get that ball past the stripe. And he does. And he makes it a tie ball game. And so it will be Aleks break with a score of 5-5. He makes a ball in the lower left corner. It was a solid. I believe he made another ball as well. I see 6 stripes and 6 solids, so I believe he made one of each. The cue ball is up against the rail, which makes this shot difficult. And he just came up a little short with it. Molly will have an open table here. And she is shooting at the 14 ball, and she drew the ball back into the 11. Looks like she does have a stripe to shoot at in the upper left corner. She has a little bit of an angle there. She may run into that 13 ball to her right. She actually drew it out of there, so she does have an angle on that ball, I think, into the upper left corner. She's going to have an issue with the 8 ball at some point when she gets to it. I think she can see the 9 ball. She's going to shoot that first, then the 13, and then if she can get above... Okay, she tried to move the 1 ball to open up the 8. She has a shot down the rail here with the 10 ball, I believe it is. And she also has the possibility of the 13, which is what she's going to shoot at. She stops that ball. That'll put her straight on the 12 ball. And I believe she'll try to pop over for the 11, which is along the left rail. She did that, but she missed the shot. And now we have 4 open balls for Aleks to shoot at. He has the solids. He is thinking over what pattern he wants to take here. Looking at the 5 ball right now, checking out the 4 ball. He's probably going to stop right here and shoot that 4 ball over into the side pocket, which he does. Now he can drift forward to get either one of these 2 balls, but I think he will... Oh, wow, he ended up coming up a little short there. With the angle the cue ball took, it looked like he was trying to bump that 12 ball and just came up short. Now he does have a 1 ball up in the corner pocket. I think he was going to save that for last before. Now it looks like he can see the 2 ball. And he's going to try and put that in that lower right corner and get on the 7 ball. And he does that. And it does look like he will be able to cut that ball and come off the bottom rail up towards the center of the table next to that stripe in the middle of the table and get on the 1 ball. Well, he went 2 rails with the cue ball and got himself quite a difficult angle. Looks like he's putting some inside English on this. He'll hold it off that end rail and come to the side rail and back out for the 8. And he has a nice look at the 8. And that will move him into the lead at 6-5. So he will be breaking again. He has had a fairly strong break, positioning the ball near the center of the table. And looked like he put a couple, 3, 4 balls in. 3 balls in, including the cue ball. And so Molly will have the ball in hand, the cue ball in hand, with a wide open table. I think she could choose either set of balls here and have a great opportunity. And she, of course, is going to look everything over very carefully. She is picturing in her mind what she would have to do to get a run out here. The 8 ball is wide open. And either ball set would be fine for her. Perhaps the solids are a little bit better because there are 3 stripes all clustered over by this bottom right hand pocket. She is going to shoot the most problematic ball among the solids, which is the 1 ball, because it only has the 1 pocket down in the upper right corner, so she'll take that out first. And she pockets that ball. It looks like she wanted to play the 5 ball next and may have gotten stuck behind the 6. I'm not sure. But she kind of threw her hands up, indicating that she wasn't happy with the position the cue ball ended up in. I would have thought she would have tried to get on the 6 next, since it really doesn't have this lower right pocket. She was in a position where she could have just kind of stopped the cue ball come off the rail a little bit from the 5 and got the 6 into this lower left corner. It seems now the only shot she has is the 5 ball, and she's going to have an angle where she comes off to the right or she's straight on. I'm not sure. She's really thinking things over here. Clearly, the pattern she was trying to play did not work out for her. And it's clear from her body language she's not happy about the circumstance she's in right now. She shoots that hard with a lot of high right. It looks like she was trying to roll up there for the 4 ball. I'm not sure why she didn't just come off the rail and shoot at the 3 ball, try to get straight on it. I'm really not sure what kind of pattern she was trying to accomplish here. But now she is going to shoot at that 3 ball, I think. And she powers that ball forward, trying to get over here on the 6, I think. She does get a pretty good angle on the 6. Now, she's going to have some balls to negotiate here. Her opponent's balls are all clustered down here on the lower right side. And she's likely to contact one of them. She's pointing to the spot she wants to hit on the rail. She has to thread that cue ball between the 2 stripes on the right there. And she got down to shoot that ball and came back up out of the shot, which is the right thing to do if she didn't feel comfortable. So many people try to adjust after they're done on the shot. If you change that shot, you're probably not going to have the proper aim. You have to stand back up, and there she's doing it a second time. She's showing good thinking there. And she does pocket that ball, but didn't quite get to the spot on the rail she wanted to, so she ran into her opponent's ball, pocketed it. She does have a shot at this 2 ball, but that cue ball is really going to be rolling, and she's going to have a hard time holding it for the 4 ball. I mean, this is a thin cut, so that cue ball is going to run up, hit that end rail, and come back this way too far, unless she's able to figure out a way to hold it up. And she's measuring this out very carefully now. She's really taking her time with this, up and down the table, looking at different angles. And she's finally getting down to shoot this ball. We'll see what she does. So she hit that with some power, trying to come up and down the table, and ran into a stripe, her opponent's ball. She is still shooting, but she has a very difficult situation now. It looks like she has decided to curve this ball to try and get around the 9 ball. She feels like she can't come off of that right side rail, so she's elevating and going to try to curve the cue ball into the 4. And she does that. Almost made it in the side pocket. That was a very good hit. Now Aleks has a number of possibilities here. He can shoot the 10 in the side, the 9 down here in the lower left corner, the 13 in the lower right corner. And it looks like he likes the 9, but now he's changed his mind. He's looking at that 10. I'm thinking 10 ball, 14, 13, 9, and roll up on the 8. But he's decided to go with the 9 now. He shot low on the ball and brought it back a little bit. He's looking at the 10, but he's got a bad angle on the 10. So now he can shoot 13, then the 10 in the corner pocket in the upper right corner, and then the 14 in the lower right. Or he can draw it back for the 14. Well, he drew it all the way back for the 10 ball. And that's all well and good now. He has to stop that ball and then back up a little bit from the 14. He really kept his cue in line that time. He has a habit of coming up out of the shot, but that time he stroked right through the ball and kept the tip on the table. And now he draws it back very nicely for the 8 ball. And this is going to put him 2 games up if he pockets this. And it does put him 2 games ahead of Molly, 7-5. I want to take you back to look at something that I think I saw during the course of this, and that was when Molly was shooting at this 1 ball. And she did not get the position she wanted, and you can see her express some frustration here as she flips her left hand up. And after this moment, I noticed her stroke changed a little bit. And we look at the next shot here, her stick sweeps upward instead of going straight through like we usually see. Let's watch it in slow motion. And the same with the next shot after that one. Now she makes that ball, but the risk is higher when you're sweeping your stroke like that. And we'll just remind you of what her straight stroke looks like right here. So I'm watching with you in real time here, or editing as we go along. I don't know what the outcome is, but I'm going to be watching to see whether Molly goes back to her really great form or whether she got a little bit rattled during that rack and is coming up out of the shot now. There's often a moment in a match when a player's mental state shifts a little bit and they look back on it and wonder what went wrong or how did I all of a sudden start doing things right? It's a very subtle game. It's the most difficult game in the world, and just a little bit of mental change can really change the outcome. We just saw Aleks make the 8 ball on the break again for a second time. Molly made it the first time she broke. He's made it twice. He's making the 8 ball even though he's doing a head ball break. Usually people do a second ball break in order to make that 8 ball. He's going to need to spot that ball, and I don't know if he noticed it or not. He's looking a table over right now. There's no 8 ball on the table. At some point, as he works his way through this sequence, he's going to notice it's not there, I think. And he has looked through the whole sequence that he wants to take and found out there's no end ball. Now he's going to go and grab that 8 ball and put it up on the table. So now he'll reconsider things. Now normally people work through a rack from the end to the front, so they look where the 8 ball is and then look at the ball they have to get on the 8 ball. He was clearly making some other decisions there and finally started thinking about the 8 ball and found out that he had pocketed it during the break. So now he's re-examining the table after placing the 8 ball on its spot. And it looks like he'll be shooting this combo. When the table is open, he's able to use any ball except the 8 to pocket the suit that he wants to choose. So he would have called that stripe there, hit it with the solid, and put it in. So now he has stripes. He's made a called ball, so he has chosen stripes. Now he's choosing to shoot the 12 ball into this corner pocket. He'll roll up on the 14. I think he probably should have rolled up on that other stripe that's behind the 7 there, but he's going to try and run into the 7 now. And he didn't get the best roll. He's pointing at that side pocket, so I think he's going to try to cut the 15 ball, which is the ball nearest his position. And this cue ball is going to run a little bit off of this shot. Probably run into the 5 ball or the stripe that's down at the lower right. He does hit the 5 ball, and he misses his shot at the same time. And that is not a surprising miss because that was both a tough cut shot and an uncertain leave for the cue ball, which I'm sure was in the back of his mind. Now we have Molly looking at the 4 ball in the corner pocket. If she does so, she has some work to get position on another ball. And she's looking carefully at that. She can roll it up towards that far end rail and back down table for the 2, but she's going to have to power it a little bit to do that. It looks like she stunned it over to get on the 3, which she successfully did. She should be able to just roll it and then get on the 7. Or she could roll it all the way down to the 5. But I'm thinking she may stop the ball, giving herself a little bit of angle on the 7, which she can use to negotiate getting back to this end of the table. We'll see what she does. She's thinking it over very carefully. And so it looks like she has decided to shoot that 3 ball. We'll see what she does with it. She does roll down to this end of the table for the 5 ball. She got straighter on it than she wanted. She would have liked to have had a little angle there so she can come back up for the 7. Now she's going to have to accept a long shot on the 7, I believe. And there's some risk because she doesn't want too much of an angle. She does get a lot of angle on it. She will be able to pocket it and come off this side rail. She will shoot low on the cue ball and slide it across along the tangent line, trying to keep the right speed to get on the 2. If she can get on the 2 straight on, then she'll have an easy out. But speed control is really important here, and it's hard to have speed control when you're stunning the ball over like this. And as I suggested, the speed was a little bit too high. She's going to have a difficult decision to make about this 2-ball now. It doesn't have a clear pocket. It does bank across down to this lower left pocket. And it does have an extremely thin cut into the lower right pocket. I do not see a very clear safety for her, so she's going to be thinking about this for a while. While she's thinking about it, let's look at her earlier shot in this rack at the 4-ball. We can see she comes up out of this shot again. Let's look at it in slow motion. And you can see her stick pops up out of the shot. She did make the ball, and that is not the point. There's a combination of two things that have to happen. You have to make the ball and get position. And the more crooked the stroke, the less likely you're going to achieve both of those things. Normally, she has a super straight stroke, but it seems to have changed over the course of this match. Now we fast forwarded through a long time that she took to make this shot. She's now prepared to make it. And she had a much straighter stroke that time, but was negotiating a super hard shot, and she overcut it a little bit. That had to be a super thin cut, and she just cut it a little too thin. Now Aleks will be coming to the table with a good possibility of getting out here. He has 3 stripes to deal with, but they all have pockets. The 15's right next to the side pocket. He should be able to shoot at that and pocket it. And then he should not have a hard time getting on these other 2 balls. And he does pocket that ball. Gets pretty straight on the 14. He's probably going to draw it back a little bit or off this right side rail. He does that and has a shot at the side pocket with a leaf on the 8-ball. He rolls the cue ball forward, and he will pocket the 8-ball to move into the lead by 3 points. Aleks is breaking again from the same spot he has every time, maybe just a tiny bit closer to the center. I believe Aleks made a stripe on that break, but I also believe they're playing under rules where he has his choice of which ball set he wants. So again, he will think this over and decide which set of balls is best for him. The 1 ball's perched in front of the side pocket, right in front of the 14, but I do believe the 14 has this lower right pocket if he chooses stripes. But he's going to go ahead and choose solids. Or not, as the case may be. He goes down on the shot to the 1 ball and then stands back up. Comes off the side rail, and I'm not sure what he was going for there. I guess he's going to try to pocket that 2-ball down in the lower left corner, which he does. Stays in the middle of the table. He'll now take out the 3 and the 4 in the lower right and then move up to the other end of the table. Looks like he miscued there. He hopped the cue ball a little bit, missed the pocket. And now we have Miss Molly Bontrager coming to the table. She has a shot on the 13. She can just roll back out to the center of the table. And she will be shooting that 12-ball next, coming off the end rail. And taking her choice of one of these 2 balls, I think she'll shoot the 9 and roll forward. Then she'll have the other stripe in the left pocket, and she will have the 14 in the side, and then her key ball is down along the end rail, or the side rail. She rolls out nicely for the 14. She should be able to just softly roll this and get straight in on the 15, except that she followed it a little bit too much and went into the side pocket. Oh boy, was that a moment. That's a moment that you really regret. That was an unforced error. And she did have a nice straight stroke there, so you can't blame her coming up out of the shot on that. It just caught that ball a little too full, or a little more full than she expected, I think, and followed it right in. If it had been a millimeter or two to the left, it would have rolled right up on the 15 nicely. Now Aleks is choosing to go to the end rail, shoot the 6 ball first, come out to the center of the table. I think he rolled further than he wanted to, so he's now going to choose to come down to this 4 ball. And he again will try to get back up towards the center left of the table to get on that 3 ball, I think. He seems to like to shoot balls into the side pocket and often goes for position on the side pocket shots. Now he can stop this, stop it again on the 7, stop it again on the 5, and pocket the 8. Well, he chose to stun it over. I don't know if he was trying to stop it there or stun it over for the 5. But at any point, he's now got to shoot the 5 and then try to get straight on the 7, which he got pretty straight on it. And he actually drifted down this way a little bit, which is good because he has an angle now to get over on the 8. He stuns it over, and he'll have a straight in shot on the 8 ball to clearly move into the lead. And the score is 9-5 in a rack that really was in Molly's hands. She just had an unforced error, caught that ball in the side pocket, the 14 ball, a little too full, and followed in behind it. And that is a deep disappointment for Molly. She's going to be rethinking that for a while, I think. Now here comes Aleks with his next break. He's been breaking very consistently, but this time he miscues, and I'm not sure if that's a legal break or not. It was not, and so I think they're playing under BCA rules. The break moves to the opponent. A legal break requires 4 balls to go to the rail. That didn't happen, so Aleks gives up the break, and as most of us do, he's inspecting his Q-tip to see what went wrong. And usually what goes wrong is the stroke goes wrong. But sometimes it does turn out that you forgot to chalk the tip or something. So I've noticed that we all inspect that tip after a miscue. If Aleks had made a ball on the break, that would have been a legal break. But he didn't, and 4 balls didn't go to the rail, so the break passed over to Molly. She did make some balls. She pocketed 2 solids and 1 stripe. The 14 ball came all the way down to this bottom end rail and all the way back up to the top left pocket. Was the last ball in. She now has a choice of stripes or solids. I don't see a clear shot to a solid unless she can make that 2 ball down in this lower right corner. But she is going to shoot at the 11 ball, which is at the top of the screen. She comes back out and has good position on either the 9 or the 12. I believe that's the 12 on the right. She's going to shoot that 9 ball and back it up a little bit. Probably try to run into that cluster there, which she did. Now the 8 ball has ended up out towards the center of the table, but it's not in an easy position at the moment. But if she clears the ball, she's going to have to get rid of those 2 stripes in the middle of the table, so she will have a clear path to the 8 ball. And she cuts in that 12 ball, rolls out, has a pretty good line on the 15 ball. She's looking at where she wants that cue ball to end up. It looks like she's going to want to shoot at the red ball in the center of the table and then roll up for the other stripe that goes in the left side pocket, and then she will have position on the 8 ball potentially. Well, she's obviously decided what she's going to do. She is going to shoot at that 15 ball. She does pocket it, goes 2 rails, out for what I think is the 12 ball up in the upper right corner pocket. She could choose to shoot it over in that right side pocket, but she's going to run into those balls there. There's the 1 and 6 ball clustered together. She's looking at the angle the cue ball's going to take as it comes off the 12 ball and whether she's going to run into that 2 ball or not. She might want to run into it so she'll have the side pocket for her next ball. She did not run into it, so she bounces straight back at her next object ball and gets locked up with it. She really wanted to hit that 2 ball and carom the cue ball over a little bit so she had a better line to the side pocket. Now, she's really in a difficult situation now. She could try to get the cue ball down below this 4 ball somehow. But it's not easy for her to get safe against a good player like Aleks. And she may try to cut this, but I don't think it's cuttable into the side pocket. And if she does that, cue ball is going to be screaming hot. It could go anywhere. So she chooses to try and get that cue ball down below the 4 ball. If she could have locked it up against the 4 ball, she'd have been in a great situation. But now he does have this 2 ball in the side pocket. He'll be going down to the end rail and probably spinning it left a little bit to try to get on either the 1 or the 6. Down in this lower left corner is where he'll be trying to get those balls. Although it is possible he could cut that 6 into the side, I think. But it looks like he's shooting at the 1 ball here. And he does so, and next he'll be shooting at the 5. He might have enough angle to come off the rail and get straight onto the 6 down into this lower left corner. He's thinking it over. Yeah, he tried to spin it out there and didn't quite accomplish it. So he's got a tough cut shot on the 6 ball. He's decided to, he's either going to cut the 6 into the side or the 4 into the corner. I'm not sure which. He does cut the 4 into the corner, comes all the way around the table. And he has a very valid shot at the 6 in the corner with position on the 8, as that cue ball is going to come off to the right side of the table, and he should have position on the 8 if he pockets this ball. He does pocket the ball, caroms off the stripe, and has a straight-in shot on the 8 to make it 10-5. And we will see Aleks break again. A good solid break this time. I don't think he made anything on this break. So it will be Molly's turn. She's looking things over. Looks like she's going to go for solid. She has a long shot on the 2. And she misses it pretty badly. And because she didn't hit it where she wanted, the cue ball didn't go where she wanted either, and it got nestled in between a solid and a stripe there. I don't really think he has anything to shoot at. Maybe he has an outside chance of pocketing this 5 ball that's right next to the cue ball and below it. He may be able to pocket that down in this lower left corner. He's aligning that shot. He's having to shoot down over another ball. And he comes very close but misses. That was a super difficult shot. Now Molly will have a chance at the table. It is still choice. She can still choose to take the solids if she would like, or she can change over to stripes. There is a cluster of balls at the lower right that's going to have to be dealt with. If she chooses solids, that 3 ball on the lower right is nestled in between 2 stripes. After long consideration of her options, she decides to shoot at this 5 ball. She pockets it, comes back across the table and opens up the 3 ball. That was a very nice shot. Now she has the 2 ball up in the upper left corner, or the 3 ball down in the lower right, and I do believe she's going to go after that 2 ball. She has more options after that. And she got nicely on the 6 ball with an angle. She can come off the right side rail for the 3 ball at the bottom of the screen in the lower right, and then try to negotiate up for the 7 and 4, or she can go after that 4 ball right now, I think, or the 1 ball. She's really got to consider how she wants to get that 7 into a pocket. If she clears the 1 ball, she may be able to stop there, put the 1 ball in the side pocket, and pocket the 7 in the other side pocket. But she is going after that 6 ball. And we can see there she's back to her perfectly straight stroke, which had abandoned her for a while. But when she's stroking like that, she can expect to really improve her outcomes. She got position on the 3 ball. She'll be drawing back to the center of the table. Now she has a position where she can shoot the 4 ball and bump that 7 and still maintain position on the 1, hoping that the 7 gets open. I feel like she played that way because that 7, she probably didn't have very much room to negotiate with it when she was up at the far end of the table. On the other hand, this is a difficult thing to do. If she's going to try to move that 7, it has to clear the 9 ball. And it's going to hit the 9 ball. If she hits it squarely, it should go over by that side rail just like that. That was beautiful. Now she's pretty straight on the 1 ball, has a little bit of an angle to the left. She should be able to draw this out or follow it across to the other rail and get on the 7. She can just roll a little bit towards the foot now, get by that first diamond, and have an easy shot at the 8. And she will pick up a game here, making the score 10-6 in Alex's favor, and she has also won the break. We will watch her break, see if she does that 2nd-ball break again. She looks like she's lining up for that. And she makes the corner ball and moves the 8, and those are the 2 goals of the 2nd-ball break, are to move the 8 and possibly make the 8 on the break when you're playing, let's say, APA or a league where the 8-ball on the break wins. But the other reason is to make that far corner ball, which she just did, and it often happens when you do a 2nd-ball break. So in this case, that 14 on the corner is going to go straight into that corner pocket. And that's one of the advantages. Even when you're playing rules like we're playing here where the 8-ball on the break doesn't count, making that corner ball is really a good thing if you can do it consistently. With a magic rack, that can be done very consistently. With a wooden rack or a plastic rack like we're using, it's less consistent but very doable. Well, she's chosen the solids here. She's going to cut the 1 into the side pocket and come 3 rails around towards the center of the table. But I don't think she got to where she wanted to. I think she would have liked to have rolled up further. She does have a shot at the 7 that's along the right side rail below the side pocket there. And she can get on the 6 with that shot, or the 3 across into the left side pocket. Either one. Now she's looking at the 2 ball in the side pocket, but she's going to have to do some magic with the cue ball if she does that shot. This shot here is doable by just rolling forward. And she can do so to the 3rd diamond on the right for the 4 ball, to the 2nd diamond on the right for the 6 ball. And she chooses to roll it a little further. I think she rolled it too far, and that often happens on these diamond tables. But she does have a shot in the side pocket. She's shooting the 3 ball into the side, runs into a stripe. I believe that was the 10 ball. She still has a makeable shot, 4 ball into the lower left corner, and she has position on the 6 and 5 if she comes off this bottom end rail. And she did that. She'll be shooting the 5. She can roll up a little bit, get an angle of the 6, and roll up by that left side pocket off the left rail for a shot at the 2. And so she'll be just stopping this ball or coming off that side rail. She gets straight on the 6. That is not a good thing. She would have liked to have had an angle, either getting below or above the 6 ball. She chose to be very careful and leave herself a long shot rather than try to do something fancy and get in trouble. This is a very makeable shot for her, but she does have a strike ball. The 13 ball is at the center of the table towards the top of the screen, and that is something she's going to have to negotiate around. I think she can put some right English on this, come off the end rail, and come up by the right side pocket. But it looks like she's going to draw it out, perhaps. She's going back and forth in her mind. That 13 ball looms large. She would like to miss that ball. She would like to miss it going down to the end rail, and she'd like to miss it coming back off the end rail. That's why I think she might choose to put some right on this and come up by the right side pocket. She did not do that. I guess she was going for the long cut shot down into one of these corners down here. I think the 12 ball might be blocking the right corner. She did end up on the end rail, which makes it a little bit dicey for Aleks. He does have a long, tough shot at the 13 ball. He'll try and put it down in this lower left corner. And he overcut that just slightly, which is really easy to do from that position, only being able to see the top of the cue ball. Molly's got to negotiate hitting that 2 ball. She's choosing to come straight off the end rail, and she missed it. That's going to give ball in hand to Aleks, which puts him in the driver's seat for this rack since every ball has a pocket. He's a good shooter. He should be able to shoot these 5 balls in, including the 8 ball. He's going to shoot the 9 ball first, it looks like, and probably roll up on the 10 ball, which is down by the right corner there. Then he can shoot the 11 ball and go up to the top for those other 2 balls. He's looking carefully at that side pocket. He wants to have just the right angle there. Comes off the end rail. And I think he got almost straight on that ball. He may change his mind and shoot that 12 ball up in the upper left corner. I think he's looking at that now, but no, he's just deciding where he wants the cue ball to end up for that ball. He shot that ball low and just backed it up a couple of inches. And he does have a good cut at the 12 ball. And it comes with natural position. I think he'll just slide this over. Wants the cue ball to be sliding when it gets there and come off that side rail. He did not do that. He rolled it and he missed it. And left a straight in shot for Molly. She can shoot this 2 ball in, roll off the side rail, and have a nice shot at the 8 ball. Back in the same side pocket she just put the 2 ball in. And that's a win for Molly. Putting the score at 10-7. Molly has recovered quite a bit from the middle stages of this match when she lost ground to Aleks. Let's watch that corner ball. It's the 6 ball again. See if it goes straight in the pocket as she does this second ball break. It does not. It came up short. I did see a ball go into the side pocket. And I believe that's the only ball that went in. She will have her choice of stripes or solids. She has a straight in shot on the 10 into the upper right, or she has a shot at the 7 into the upper left. She also has a shot at the 4 into the left side. So she has a lot of choices here. The question is, which ball set does she want? The stripes maybe have a little bit better layout. It depends on how that 15 ball at the left by the side pocket is lying next to the 3. But the 5 ball and the 2 ball are at the top of the table. And they're blocked by a stripe. So she's probably going to end up choosing stripes and try to figure out a way to open up that 15 ball. But instead she chooses solids. And it looks like she has shots at both the 4 ball and 6 ball. Hard to say, even from this angle, whether that 6 will go or not. But she's choosing the 4 anyway. You can see her lining up on that 4 ball. And she does pocket that ball. Comes all the way to the end rail for the 2. Now the 5 ball, as I said earlier, is blocked by the stripe in the corner, so she's going to want to draw this back to get on the 5 if she can. Either that, she's shooting down on the ball, she might bump that 5 out. She does. And now what? Now she's going to have a difficult shot. I don't know whether the 1 goes in the lower right corner. It did, but she missed it. And she leaves Aleks with a bit of a tough layout, especially because of that 15 ball, which is very close to the 3 ball. It's really not clear that it has a good pocket or an easy one to get at, nor is it clear that there's a ball to use to open that up. On the other hand, the 3 ball is tied up for Molly, so I'm sure that's on his mind too. And it really creates only one open pocket for the 8 ball, and that is that left side pocket. So he's choosing to cut this 14 in, and he's going to come over to try to hit the 15, I think. He's putting low left English on it. He really poked at that ball. If you watch his grip hand here, you can see that it has a real jerky, little short, quick, abrupt movement. And he missed the ball. And it will now be Molly's shot. And what does she have? It looks like her only option is a cut at the 5 ball. She's looking where that cue ball is going to come off the rail now. She's concerned about the 5 ball as well. That 5 ball is trapped in between the 15 ball and the 8 ball. And I don't think it has a pocket anywhere. So I think it has to be moved. And she's going to try to position this cue ball where she can make a shot and move it, but she sent the cue ball straight into the right side pocket. So Aleks will now have ball in hand. And again, he has that 15 ball to deal with. And the 1 ball is perched right in front of that right side pocket. So he can't put it over there and pocket that ball in the right side pocket, I don't think. Can he send it down to combo with the 14? That looks like that's what he's intending to do. He's shooting down on this ball. Let's see if he has a better stroke this time. He did not. He was calling the combo. He missed the combo badly, pocketed the 15. But that hands the inning over to his opponent, and Molly will be shooting now at either the 1 ball or the 6 ball. I suspect she's going to end up on the 1 ball. She has a difficult position if she tries to cut the 6 in. Molly talking things over with somebody on the sidelines. Probably not entirely happy with some of the outcomes she's had. She shoots the 1 ball on the side, draws the ball back for the 6. Comes out. She has nice position on the 3 ball. She should be able to stop that ball and send the 8 down into this lower left corner. She drew it back a little bit to cut it into the side, I think, and ends up kind of on the 50-yard line, but more probably she's going to take the shot into the corner. I think she made it difficult on herself by drawing that ball back and not getting it far enough. The tendency of these players has been to run the ball too far on this really fast cloth. Now she's looking at cutting this in the side. She will run into the 9 ball. She does run into it and pockets one of the stripes in the right lower corner. The table goes back into Aleks' hands. He has a shot on that red stripe right below the cue ball into this lower left pocket, or the 9 ball into the lower right pocket. He's looking at the cut shot into the lower left. He drew the ball back towards the center of the table. And now he has a choice of the 14 ball or the 9 ball. I think he's choosing the 14 ball because there's less chance that blue ball is going to end up as a blocker. Instead, the 8 ball ended up being a blocker. I think he's going to have to bank this purple ball. I guess it's the 12 ball. He does bank it very cleanly. Let's see what he's going to do with this. He can draw it all the way back up for the side pocket. or he can choose to run it across like he just did for the corner pocket. My feeling in watching him is he often likes to, even if it's a difficult position, try to get to the side pocket. He likes those side pockets, but this time he chose the corner pocket. And that puts Aleks at 11-7, and it turns out that must be what they were racing to because they ended their match here. I'm told the players, I wasn't there, but I was told the players moved over to the 9-foot table, and Molly won a set over there, but we don't have that on video. So congratulations to Molly for going on and winning the later set, and we hope to see you again at Jim's place, both of you.